Hi, naturals. How are you? Have you ever been in a conversation and you answered a question like, how have you been? And then said, I'm busy. And the conversation just died? Well, here's the truth native English speakers almost never answer in this way. Instead, they say things like, I'm swamped. My schedule is packed. I've got a lot on my plate. And those phrases instantly make you sound more natural, more confident, and more fluent. So in this video, I am going to share 7 expressions native speakers use all the time instead of I'm busy. And stay until the end because phrase number 7 is the one native speakers use when they're overwhelmed, exhausted, and trying to do 10 different things at once. And once you learn it, you're going to hear it everywhere. So, if you're new here, hi, I'm Gabby from Go Natural English. And if you've ever felt like your English is correct but still sounds a little repetitive or textbook like, this lesson is for you. Because I'm busy is not wrong, but if you say it all the time, your English can sound flat, basic, very general. Think about it. I'm busy could mean a lot of different things. It could mean you have too much work, you have no free time, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, your schedule is full, you forgot to call someone, or you're just emotionally exhausted. So native speakers often try to be more specific, and I'll tell you why. And today I'm going to show you how to be more specific too. We'll go through 7 phrases, when to use them, how to pronounce them naturally, and which one to use depending on your situation. And make sure that you stay for phrase 4 because it's one of the most useful expressions for work. And most English learners have never heard it. So before we get into better phrases than I'm busy, there is something important you need to know. Because when you simply say, I'm busy, especially depending on the tone of voice you use, it can sound like I don't want to talk. There may be some times when that's exactly what you mean to say, but if you don't want to say, I don't want to talk, or I don't want to continue this conversation, that's not what you mean. We need to use some other phrases and strategies. Because in American English, I'm busy by itself can feel very short, very closed, even rude. Imagine someone comes to your door and is trying to sell you something. One way to get them to go away would be to say, sorry, I'm busy. So it's a way to say you're not interested without being so harsh as to say something so direct like I'm not interested. That is very direct, obviously. So for example, imagine someone says, we should get coffee sometime. And you answer, I'm really busy. The conversation's over and it sounds like you're not interested at all. It sounds like you're rejecting the person. But both can be true. You can be busy, but also want to get coffee with someone. So if you want to sound open, friendly, and interested, you need to add more detail. That's the secret. For example, I've had a ton on my plate lately, but I'd love to get coffee sometime. My schedule is packed this week, but maybe next week. I've been swamped with work recently. We should catch up soon. You know, this exact situation happened with me. I was catching up, texting with a friend of mine, and we want to make plans to grab dinner together, but she's busy the next 2 weeks, and then I'm busy traveling the next 2 weeks after that. So we're both busy, but we also both expressed interest in grabbing a bite to eat a month from now. And it's funny, but that is very common, especially in American culture. We often plan things out way, way, way in advance. All right, so notice the difference. You're still explaining that you're busy, but now you sound warm, interested, and open to continuing the relationship. As long as you follow up after saying, I'm busy, with more details and a suggestion about when you might actually get together, then it's all good. So Americans do this all the time. You might have noticed, even if we don't make a specific plan, we often add something like, we should catch up soon, or let's do something next week. I'd love to talk more when things calm down. So this is not making a specific plan. You may actually never get together. However, it's just expressing interest in connecting in the future. Because the goal is not just to explain that you're busy. The goal is to show the other person, I still want to connect with you. So as you learn these phrases today, remember, don't just replace I'm busy. Add a little detail, and if it makes sense, suggest another alternative time to get together or to work on the project or to have a call, whatever the situation may be. And if you want to keep the conversation going, this is so important. The invitation for later, to keep that invitation open, because this one small change can make you sound much more natural and much friendlier. And we know that connecting with people and building your network is a huge key to success. It's not just about having perfect English. You want to know how to use English fluently, confidently to connect with people. Okay, now let's look at the first phrase native speakers use when they're completely overwhelmed. I'm swamped. This means you have way too much to do, not just busy, overwhelmed. For example, I'm completely swamped at work right now. Sorry, I haven't replied. I've been swamped. This week has been crazy. I'm swamped. And hey, as I share these phrases with you, these are great examples to repeat after me. If you shadow what you hear me say right after I say it, that is how you improve your pronunciation. And it also helps you to remember these phrases if you say them out loud. So if you didn't just repeat after me, go back and listen again and say these phrases with me, as well as the next ones I'm about to share with you. So when you say, I'm swamped, imagine you're underwater. It's that feeling. I'm just trying to keep my head above water. And actually, that is a very common idiom that we use. How are you doing? Oh, I'm so busy. I'm just trying to keep my head above water. So that's a little bit more advanced, but I thought I'd throw it in here just for fun. So when you have so much work to do that you feel like you can barely breathe, that's I'm swamped. And listen to how native speakers say it. I'm swamped at work right now. Swamped at work sounds like one big word. We don't say I am swamped at work right now. I sound like a robot, don't I, when I separate all the words. So try putting swamped at work together, all kind of like one big word, and you'll sound more natural. This is creating a chunk of words that go together. All right, one last time. I'm swamped. I've been swamped lately. I'm swamped at work right now. Good. What if you're not overwhelmed? You just have too many responsibilities and too many things to do. Then the next phrase is even better. I love this phrase. I've got a lot on my plate. This is one of the most common expressions native speakers use, especially in professional situations. In emails, in meetings, it means you have a lot of responsibilities. For example, I'd love to help, but I've got a lot on my plate right now. She's got a lot on her plate with work and family. I've had a lot on my plate lately. So yes, we're talking about a plate, like the thing that you eat meals on. And it's not literally about food. We're talking about responsibilities. So this has nothing to do with how you are eating or what you're having for lunch. It's simply a natural phrase to talk about you have a lot of responsibilities. When you have a lot of responsibilities, this is the phrase to use. And before we get to phrase number 3, I have something that will help you actually remember these expressions. I made a free lesson guide PDF for this video for you with all 7 phrases plus a few bonus ones that have come up, extra examples to build your confidence and to practice more, pronunciation notes, practice questions, and a mini exercise so you can use these phrases in your real life. And you can download it with the link below in the description and the pinned comment. The best part is once you sign up for this PDF, I'll send you future lesson guides too. So every new video becomes easier to remember and practice. So pause the video, grab the PDF, and then come back because the next phrase is one natives use all the time when they have absolutely no free time. My schedule is packed. This means your calendar is completely full. To be packed means to be busy. It also means to be crowded. If you're in a space or an event with a lot of people, you might say, wow, it's so packed in here. Your schedule or your calendar can also be packed with events, meetings, and so on. I'd love to meet, but my schedule is pretty packed. August is gonna be packed for me. Think of a suitcase. When it's packed, there's no room left. It's hard to squeeze anything more inside. And that's exactly what this phrase means. No room in your schedule. You can also say, I have a packed schedule. Repeat after me. My schedule's packed. I have a packed schedule this week. But what if you're not just busy? What if you're exhausted because you're trying to do too many things at the same time? Then phrase number 4 is the one you need. I've been stretched thin. This is a great phrase for when you're trying to do too much. For example, I've been really stretched thin lately. She's stretched too thin between work, kids, and school. We're all feeling stretched thin right now. This phrase means you don't have enough time, energy, attention, or even money for everything. With inflation, many people are feeling stretched thin financially these days. So you're not just busy, you're exhausted. And emotionally, this phrase feels very different from I'm busy. I'm busy is very basic and doesn't carry a lot of emotion. But this phrase, I'm stretched thin, tells people that you've reached your limit. So pause and repeat. I've been stretched thin. And now we're getting to one of my favorite expressions because it explains exactly why you disappeared, forgot to text someone back, or didn't do what you planned to do. So this is a very, very useful phrase. I got caught up in fill in the blank. Use this when you became so involved in something and you lost track of time. For example, I got caught up in work. Sorry, I got caught up in a project. I meant to call you back, but I got caught up in a million things. This is much more natural than saying I was very busy, because now you're explaining exactly what happened. So pause and repeat. I got caught up in work. And notice when you have a phrasal verb like caught up or to catch up, we emphasize the preposition up. I got caught up in work. To get caught up has several different meanings, so don't get confused. When we mean I'm busy, caught up can mean that you forgot about your other responsibilities. I'm sorry I forgot to call you. I got caught up in work. To catch up also means like if you're chasing someone and you run faster and faster because you want to catch up with them. To catch up with a friend means to reconnect with them. To catch up has a lot of different meanings. So let's focus just on this one for now. And maybe in another video, we can talk about all the different meanings. Let me know if you would like that. Another example, practice with me now. I got caught up in a project. There's one final phrase that native speakers use when they're trying to manage work, family, stress, errands, and life all at the same time. And honestly, if you're an adult, this phrase probably describes your life perfectly. I've been juggling a lot. Do you know what it means to juggle? Have you ever seen a clown or an entertainer, a performer who has multiple objects, maybe a bowling pin and a ball and some other random object, and they're tossing them all in the air at the same time? That's what juggling means. So this means that you're trying to manage many things at once. For example, I've been juggling work, family, and studying English. She's juggling 3 different jobs at the same time. We're all juggling a lot these days. I love this expression because it creates such a clear image. You're juggling. You're trying to keep everything up in the air equally. And if one thing falls, everything falls. And that's why native speakers use this phrase so often. So pause and repeat. I've been juggling a lot lately. Now, let me show you a quick real life story so you know exactly how native speakers use these expressions. A few months ago, I had one of those weeks where everything happened at the same time. I had a deadline, I was traveling, I had family visiting, and somehow I also decided it was the perfect time to start a new project. Terrible timing. By Wednesday, I was completely swamped. I had back-to-back meetings all morning. Then I got caught up in emails. And then I remembered I had promised a friend I would meet her for dinner. And honestly, I almost canceled completely. I texted her, "Can we do next week? I've got a lot on my plate right now." But she said, "Hey, I understand. Even if we can meet just for 1 hour, that would be great." And I went. And afterward, I realized something. I hadn't just been busy, I'd been stretched thin. I needed a break, but it was so good to see my friend, and I'm so glad that I went. So, if that sounds like you right now, you are not alone. Let's review. Instead of saying I'm busy, try saying I'm swamped. I've got a lot on my plate. My schedule is packed. I've been stretched thin. I got caught up in work. I've been juggling a lot. Now, I want you to write a sentence in the comments. Which phrase describes your life this week? For example, I've been juggling a lot lately because, or my schedule is packed this month because. The more you use these phrases, the more natural your English will become. And as one more final point, I'm curious, have you noticed that Americans love to talk about how busy they are? It's like a badge of honor. And it's much more common here, in my experience, in the United States, to emphasize how busy you are all the time, because it's kind of equivalent to being successful. We don't want to say, I have nothing to do, or I'm just relaxing all the time. What do you think about that? I would love to know if you can give me your feedback in the comments. What do you notice culturally? But before you go, there's one more mistake English learners make that instantly makes their English sound less natural. It's using the same simple words again and again. Words like good, nice, bad, interesting, and thing. So in the next video that's right over here, I'm going to show you the 5 words you need to stop using if you want to sound more fluent, and exactly what native speakers say instead. So click the next video right here. I'll also include it in the description and the pinned comment in case it doesn't show up right here. But this video is 5 words to stop using to improve your English. Because once you stop saying I'm busy and stop overusing these 5 words too, your English is going to sound dramatically more natural. I'll see you there, and bye for now.